Here. There it is. I think we're live. Who do we got? Deanna, Jay, Retro Puffer, Matt, Chris, Trolls, Fretless Ed, Max, Matt, Trolls, John, Wendell, Stretch CPO, Strange Angel, got Seth, Yeti Motzi, Chris, got Zach, and Dave. Oh, yeah. Who else we got here? I say Dave, Eric, Steve, speak up. What's up, dude? Papa Blue, Jason, Gary, James, Mr. Mick, of course. How dare you? Got Mike and Jordan and Tony just joined us. This is the EMGs. Hold on. Freaking piece of paper here. Yeah, see, this is getting like turned a little. There we go. You got bumped. There you go. Not bad for a guitar made in 1987, brought to market in 88. That might be a touch much. Boy, that stuff, huh? Plus, I haven't played guitar like all week. Who else do we got? We got Mike. I think we said Jordan, Tony, Scott, Gibbs, Jeff. I still have my RG 550. I do. Yeah, it's not bad, Retro Prophet. You know, it does have some flaws. Let me point out some of the major flaws. The dumbass who put this in was was so scared to figure out how to put two knobs in where it's supposed to be that he added this third knob in the middle because he himself was a knob. The knob added a knob, and you hear the popping. Hear that? That's because he almost certainly grounded it because he's a moron. So when you go through, as you go through it, you're like deactivating, right? You're grounding out and reactivating the circuit, grounding out, reactivating the circuit. Because like I said, he's a bit of a knob, a bit of a tool. Now, whoever did this work, and I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud right now, he stuffed the battery into the jack compartment. You just think about that you just let that sit for a little bit instead of in the regular cavity, which is where it's supposed to go. You'd have plenty of room if you didn't put the stupid extra knob in. You know, I was able to wire mine no problem. They had plenty of diagrams, but people are just, you know, their path of least resistance. And I wouldn't mind if it was modular. In other words, if you opened it up and it was all plugs. This is completely soldered, and quite poorly. I think if I was going to do it over, I don't even know that I'd go with EMGs. I might go with, you know, part of me. And he cracked it. You see the crack? He cracked it doing this work. Because, again, and I can't point this out enough, he's a moron. He probably cracked it leaning on the top of it with a goddamn drill, or drilling it from the rear and not having it on like a block of wood, right, to make a nice clean. Again, anyway. Yeah, I could put passive pickups in it, and of course with an Ibanez, you want to probably go DiMarzio. Could go DiMarzio, and then maybe take this knob out. Put it back to the master volume, master tone. You could even, this is a push-pull. You could even keep the push-pull thing to do something. And then maybe switch this out to a, like a kill switch. Just to kind of get it out of the way, because it's kind of a little bit in the way of the blade switch. That's why they didn't put a knob there. You know, it's almost like the original design was designed by someone who knew how to design shit. Almost. And then you came along and was like, durr. But this comes with tree knobs. And it's like, dude, seriously. Like 1,000 friggin' wiring diagrams out there. I mean, that's how I got mine. You just literally on their site. Oh, I don't have, you know, what do you have? Do you have two volumes? Do you have two tones? Do you have one tone? Do you have, right? They had everything broken down. Yeah, I have one volume and one tone. Okay, well, you wire it like this. They had the whole thing. It was like, it was easy. It was like, you know, knob. The dude is a knob. So not only did he mod it, he did it quite poorly. Oh, those EMGs do sound pretty good. He held it with a pair of pliers as evidenced by the dings above the middle pickup. You know, you could be right. I wouldn't doubt it. You know, we're not talking with a real mechanically inclined person here. When he sees an extra tone knob and shrieks and decides drilling it out is a better way to go. Yeah, he wrecked it. They didn't mod it. Luckily, this guitar was only $300. Tree handy. It was $299. So I can put up with it. I think Bobby owned this at one point. Bit of a train wreck, But it's a great playing and sounding guitar. The coil cut didn't work. There's a coil cut for the, there it is on, there it is off, right? The humbucker on, humbucker turn a single coil. You can definitely hear it. I think it goes from the, that's the 89. And I want to say it goes from the 85 in the normal position, not the 81, it's the 85. And then when you pull the, when you go into the single coil mode, it is an SA. And the gold one. And then the other two are SAs. So it's a matching set. Yeah, for 300, not that bad, yeah. If this guitar was on Guitar Center now, they'd want like double that. They've caught on to the whole Japanese guitars are kind of nice and we should be getting more money for them. Plus YouTube, you know, raises awareness. It's just one, it kind of has a plain neck. Not really. I mean, I guess a little figuring, right? Tiny bit. You can kind of see in the camera, maybe. Sort of. Not really. It's clean, though. This is has an 87 serial number, so this would have been on the shelf in 88. Probably could have got this around, you know, the last week in January of 88 through the end of the year. They're such good playing guitars. And I would use this. I think I've used this a few times for Christmas songs because it's, you know, it's an easy playing guitar and it's red. Oh, looking kind of Christmassy. What would have been the 87 list price? So the list price, I think, was, it wouldn't have been out on the market in 87. It would have been on the market in 88. Ibanez uses the serial number from year of, like, conception, not year of production. And I want to say a $749 or $799 retail. And then, but it would have been cheaper, right? That's before discount. If you walked in with stores, probably like $5.99. I remember when I got mine on the very first run. I think I paid my insider dealer cost through the store was $4.19, which I almost plotzed when I heard that number. I was like, I'll take 10 of them. $4.19. Yes. Drape me in friggin' ibbies. My body is ready. Yeah, $5.99 does sound right. And I believe that in the first year, it came with a case. In the second year, they weirdly priced the guitar and the case separately, but you weren't allowed to buy the guitar without the case. So no dealer sold them without the case because they didn't want to get stuck with a bunch of friggin' cases. So it was a weird way of sort of like upping the price. And the prices rose pretty quickly. want to say the first year was easily the lowest one. Yeah, so there's the, we do have coil splitting. There's the humbucker, and then there's the single coil. This guitar kind of needs strings. Probably change the strings on it once. And that was all in humbucking mode. I mean, single coil mode. So how you guys doing? So I guess the major news this week is that NAMM is still going despite those horrible wildfires going on over in California. As of tonight, it's still going. It's funny, when it first showed up, it had nothing to do with fire. I follow Elliot Easton on Facebook, and he's like, man, it is so windy outside right now. It's like so crazy windy. It just knocked a tree down in my yard. This is like insane. And I think that was his last post. He hasn't posted since. I think he probably got evacuated. And it just so reminded me of, remember Hawaii like 18 months ago or 2 years ago, when they had sort of the same thing? They had crazy wind, and the wind just makes the fire so freaking hot and spreads it so fast. There's like nothing you can do. You're helpless. If you had 1 billion gallons, the only thing stopping that was rain, and that wasn't going to happen. So it's just, oh God, it was so painful to see it really felt like that Hawaii situation all over again with the whipping winds. They're sort of trying to get ahead of it now. They couldn't the only way to really kind of fight a fire that big is with aerial like drops, but it was too windy. It's just a big nightmare. The systems are designed to fight 1 or 2 houses on fire, not the entire friggin' neighborhood. Yeah, the wind, because the wind, see, you got to remember, fire burns about 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But you start putting wind on it, it's like a foundry. You start putting wind on it, that same fire, the same exact friggin' fire, is burning at 1,500, 1,800, 2,000 friggin' degrees. Now things that are supposed to be protected are no longer protected, right? Things that don't normally burst into flames are bursting into flames because it's like there's so much oxygen fed into the fire. It just burns so much hotter, like ridiculously hot. And it spread so fast because the embers are just getting whipped up. Oh my God, the wind was just brutal. It was, oh God, again, it really did remind me of that Hawaiian situation like 2 years ago or 18 months ago. And then, of course, Joe Bonamassa posts, I knew this day would come, but here we are. And was like evacuating. He had to evacuate Nerdville, leaving what could only be described as probably the largest cache of, vintage guitars in a single place, maybe close to it. Maybe Jim Irsay, right? But I mean, he's got a lot of really like incredible vintage instruments there. You get a fire going through and whipping through that, I think it would have just destroyed everything. You know, you would have saw one of the greatest losses of vintage instruments in one fell swoop ever. But luckily, his exact area was spared. And he has no power, but they're trying to get back in and maybe get something out of there. It can go somewhere, I don't know. But it's, oh God, what a freaking nightmare. You know, so it's like, it's just great. So I don't know if you're familiar with Santa Ana Winds. I knew nothing about him, but I think it was 10 years ago. I want to say it was 2015. Could have been 2016. It wasn't the first year for sure. Like the second or the third year I went to NAMM. Because I remember where I was staying for a hotel. And I remember the first year I took a bus over. And then I realized I was so close, I didn't need to take the bus. It was stupid, right? And so I was just walking down. So that second year was 2015, or it was the year after that, it was 2016. It was one of those 2 years, 2015 or 2016. And they had Santa Ana Winds. And it's like 7:30 a.m. and I'm walking to the place. And it is 91 degrees out. Fahrenheit, 91. And the dew point is 15. Because I'm like, you know, because I see a temperature reading and it's like 90-something degrees out. And I look at my phone and I call up the dew point, and the dew point's 15. 50. If we had a dew point of 50 around here, that would be shockingly dry for 90 degrees Fahrenheit, let alone 15. I mean, that is just like, that's like a desiccant, right? That's just ripping the moisture out of everything. Oh, so that's what they got going on. They got the Santa Ana Winds. And so it is just, it's just a horrible situation. Again, it really does remind me of Hawaii because of the way the winds were whipping up so much and just superheating what would be a controllable fire just into a completely it's like trying to sweep the ocean back, you know. Now you've got to worry about, losing personnel to a rapidly moving and intensifying fire. So that's what they were having. They're having like tinder dry friggin' conditions. After having, crazily enough, like 2 years of like higher than average rainfall. They actually had quite a bit of rainfall going on in Cali for a couple of years. And then, it just goes to show you how quickly it can dry out. And then you get the winds going and something sparks a fire. And friggin' forget about it. It is just, it becomes a real catastrophe. So my heart was breaking for people out there. And huge swaths of, neighborhoods just gone. And a pretty dense population, too. This isn't like you're out in the middle of the country and you're losing 40 homes. You're losing like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes in a row. It's crazy. So, we'll see. As of right now, NAMM is still on. So I will be going there in a couple of weeks. I think it's the next Saturday. And then, that's it. So, there's no water management that would have helped that. Zero. You'd need 1 trillion gallons. It's like there's no water management that could help something like that. Some situations just do literally get out of control. And that looked to me like a situation pretty out of control. There was no way. Yeah, you could. Sometimes what they do is they do cut a gap, right? They cut a fire gap in forest, to try and split it up. But you get a strong. Again, that's where the wind that prevents a regular forest fire. When you have 100-mile-an-hour wind, that gap means nothing. Those embers flow right over that friggin' gap and right to the other side of it. It laughs at that gap. What do you think is the gap? What do you think, you're stopping me? You know what it really also reminded me of? kind of Hurricane Andrew, oddly enough. Because I think it was Andrew, right? That came in on the friggin' east side of Florida and pretty much, like a stump grinder, scoured the surface of the friggin' state from one side to the other, leaving 20 billion in friggin', and that was 25 years ago, and damage in its wake. Kind of felt like that. Right? That kind of just catastrophic, massive damage. Katrina. Again, just massive damage. These friggin' ones we had earlier down in the Carolinas. Oh my God. Those with the flooding, Andrew was 92? No, it feels much later. I could have sworn. So what am I thinking of? I want to say this was in 98 or 9? I thought it was much later. Because I could have sworn I was working in Cambridge. I remember talking about it. Talking about the damage. We're going to start some serious hurricanes for many decades. We've had some real bad ones over the years. No, we have. No, we could be due for one. I think the blizzard of 78 was sort of a winter hurricane. Hurricane George. The last one I really remember around here was Gloria was a big one, but I think that was more hype. Was it Bob that was also hyped? But then we had an unnamed storm that actually caused a lot more damage. And maybe because there wasn't as much prep for it, or it just caught us at a bad time. But we had an unnamed storm come through that just absolutely devastated the coast. There was a lot of coast that was absolutely ravaged by that. And a lot of boats and a lot of just marine everything. That one came in like a hurricane, but technically wasn't one. Yeah, blizzard of 78, out of school for 3 weeks. I remember that. So was I, yeah. 3 weeks. And my dad got called up to the guard. Phones were still working. And luckily the power was still working. And because a lot of people lost power, we did not. And so we had heat. Though my mother was so worried about running out of oil, we kept it pretty cool in there. And because how would an oil truck even get to you? Our street didn't get plowed for over a week. Yeah, I know what a nightmare that was. 78, that was crazy. And the storm surge. Yeah. So did you see Ibanez is putting out some new stuff? Let's see if we can... See if we can find this. Ugh. Yeah. Right here. New gear for 2025. New AZs, new basses, new acoustics. I think this is, so they say the new gear for 2025, but it's under this whole umbrella. And you're at this part of the breadcrumb. So I'm feeling like everything on the page is new or not, or this is just the 2021 lineup. Because I've certainly seen this guitar before. Maybe not in a lefty, but I've certainly seen it. A whole bunch of AZs. I think these are the new ones here, right? Are they all new? Tough to say. Not a lot of clues going on there. I'm going to say yes. But and the reason why I say no is because where was it? I saw the basses, acoustics. Yeah, they have the new black acoustic. Right, these new, just like almost kind of super metal acoustics. But where is, oh, Jesus. Accessories now. It feels like their whole lineup. Where is it? Again, they're saying new for 2025. Huh. Maybe it was on a different page. Am I on the US? Yeah, no, this is USA. Okay. I wonder if I was on the non-USA one before. I was looking at this earlier, and one of the guitars on this page earlier, at least the one I saw, and I'm not seeing it again. Well, yeah, we're down into basses here, unless I blew right past it. Yeah, I don't see it. Was in RG550 in black. So it was the regular RG550, but it was in what they were calling a new black color. But I did that same exact RG550 over the summer. That was one of the guitars of the week. Which returns on Monday, by the way. Little programming note for you. So are these just the new ones for the USA market? Maybe. Where is that DX? I don't even see the DX. Where is the frickin' DX? You know what? That's not in our market. That's what it is. You son of a bitch. Yeah. Yeah, no DX. Jesus. All right. No, fine. We didn't want your friggin' DX. Yeah, I think I was looking at the German site earlier. Not the USA one. So it had the new RG550 in black, and it had the new DX series listed as well. But I don't think those are for the US market. At least not new to the US market. All right. They're already here. I don't know. You know, they could do a better job, I'm just saying. Let's try Instagram. Oh yeah. My buddy. We want to do a search. Ibanez. Here we go. Hello. There we go. There's the new one. So there's the new black guitars. These are their new acoustics. Okay, so maybe that was everything new. This is supposed to be new for 2025. In the acoustics, and those, the MAF series. The new basses. if you're up for a new bass. The new AZ series. Oh, and whatever the hell that is. Blue trem, blue pickups, blue sparkle body. But can you play blues on it? Actually, no. There's those friggin' DXs, not in the USA market. Kind of looks like an RG760. If I had to give them a bit of advice, I would say bring back the RG760 and bring back the 750, the 760, and the 770. But especially the 760. Such a good guitar. And it wouldn't kill you to like bump up the fretboard to ebony. I mean, come on, let's do this. There were none more black. They said, how black could it be? And the answer was none. None more black. And a couple of, they look kind of like Schofield models, but they probably aren't. I don't know if that's a JS or John Schofield. I do like the guitar. I'm not crazy about the lighter fretboard. I'd prefer a darker fretboard. Throw in some IBZ USA pickups or some DiMarzios in there. Let's do this right. A real edge trem. I mean, I dig the 760, the 750, the 770. Those are all great guitars, but they were calling that the 460, right? Yeah, 460. Yeah. And I think we're out. Yeah, then we're on to dudes and that and that and that. There you go. All right. When they're going to start the Destroyer line again. They've tried to do it a little bit, but they haven't really. I feel like they did one, I want to say in 2019, 2018 or 2019. Didn't they come out with a new Destroyer line? And they were all made in, I think they were made in China, or they could have been made in Indonesia. I think they were made in China. And they had came out with a whole bunch of stuff, harkening back to, say, 78 through about 82. So I think the Artist came out that same year, also made in China. And they're pretty inexpensive, both of these guitars, that blue one there and this one blue one here, there, both Volas. The Ibanez Fireman is a weird guitar. Yeah. It's sort of like a reverse Iceman, which is why they call it the Fireman, right? Because what's the opposite of ice? Fire, right? Fire and ice. So I'm with you, except for that new black one. That new black one's pretty hot. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just saying, like, normally I'm with you on the Fireman. Kind of a little weird. But that they have it here on the website? Do they have it somewhere? Let me go, if I can go back. Can I go back? Yeah. So, if I go electric guitars, it's probably under signature models. So, I gotta think. Yeah, PGM FRM, right here. Here we go. Hold on. Right there. This one here. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like that one. Just this one, but there's something about it. People are talking. I like the split inlays. I like the simple piano black, high gloss with the gold hardware. It's the, the Les Paul Customs of FRMs. It's the LPC FRM. It even says custom on the friggin' headstock, of course. I don't know. I kind of like that one. Does it have the magnet under there? Tell me it has the magnet. Somewhere? Anywhere? Maybe not. System controls, no. Ebony. Oh, I like that it's ebony. Narrow, tall frets. A something body. I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's got the Marzio pickups. It's got a Gibraltar bridge. Yeah, Gibraltar, I didn't even know her. Oh, it does have the magnetic slide bar holder. Nice. Right there. Quick change tailpiece. I'm just saying. Kind of like this one. They're so back ordered, you can't even get one. I think right now, Zounds is looking about getting them in like April. So some dealers might have them in stock, but Zounds is waiting on their next run. Good looking guitar though. Pretty good. Anyway. Is it a Paul Gilbert? I don't think so, because I think the PGM is the Paul Gilbert model. I think they call it the Fireman, and he's just sort of the official ambassador for the Fireman, and he came up with that design by just reversing an Iceman. It all seems a little incestuous. How much for this one? How much for that one? I want to say they're $12.99. I think $12.99. I'm 90% sure. So it's almost certainly made in Indonesia. Do they have a back of the headstock to get more? No, that's artist detail. All right, nope. Okume? The thing about the Fireman that you have to know is that it is an enormous guitar. Krellbar loaned me his Fireman, and my God, what an enormous beast of a guitar. It's like putting on like a Dean Razor, you know what I'm saying? It's like these enormous guitars with oversized headstocks, big long bodies, It was a freaking enormous guitar. I think the Fireman, just by design, because Paul is so tall, he wants, he wants a bigger guitar. Exactly. Hendrix is making it look like an Iceman, right? Well, the irony. I'm just saying, if Hendrix was alive today, he'd probably be playing, an upside down Fireman. Probably. If Paul Stanley were alive today. Did you see Paul show off his Iceman and prototypes on Gibson TV? I did. The crazy thing about a lot of that, he's like, yeah, we got this guitar, but it didn't have a great top, so he took the top off of this Les Paul and put a new top on it. Or he didn't like the neck. He had to re-neck it. And it's like, dude, is that even the same guitar anymore? It's like some of the custom work he had done on guitars, they were like, yeah, it's good, but let's take this, this maple cap off and we'll put a nice, quilt maple cap on it. And it's like, that's a deep dive, bro. That's a deep dive into a new look for your Les Paul. Some of the work he had done on those. Of course, the mirrored Iceman was so friggin' beat up, missing so many pieces of the mirror. It's just over time, it had really taken a beating. And he had so many. He had quite the collection going there. Do I still have the 540R? I do not. Got rid of that a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago. They didn't change the thing. It was purely cosmetic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The way he was talking, it sounded like they put a new freaking top on it. Or they just repaint it? It sounded like they were doing more than that. Yeah, the Greg Cox stuff's bigger too. He's got a 8/7. Right. Exactly, changing your spark plugs by going through the oil pan. I know, right? It's it seems like it's like, yeah, they had to put a new neck on this one. I'm like, really? Yeah, no, well, Paul was playing whoever was paying him. So he found out that he could get money more than just free guitars. So he moved to Hamer, but then Hamer didn't have any money to pay him. And then I think he moved to, who was it? It was Washburn. He was with Washburn for a long time. And then finally he went back to Ibanez. So we're in the middle of a massive friggin' cleanup down here. It's been cathartic. It's been liberating. We've dumped so much stuff. It's going to happen again on On trash day this week, we're going to dump, hopefully another giant cart full of, stuff. I mean, just amazing. Like, so much is just ready to get thrown out. It's like, what are we doing? Time to chuck it. I also got a new desk down here. This sort of all started for that. I had a new desk because my son didn't want his desk any longer. It was too big. He wanted something smaller and different. Didn't like the desk. The desk is from IKEA, and it weighs a friggin' ton. It is like insane how much that thing weighs. Even with the table off of it, it was so heavy. I had to break down like a lot of the desk to get it light enough to be able to even carry it. It was so friggin' heavy. But we got it down here. We got it in. Let's see if I can find the photo. What a pain in the ass, though. And it was so windy and cold this week. It was so brutally windy and brutally cold this whole week until Friday. Friday was the first day. It took like all week. No, that's darker. Yeah, it's a little lighter right there. It'll be easy to see. So that's kind of the synth room right now. So you can see off to the left, there's a desk here. There's that new i3 I just got, which is a nice little, I think it's a little rocket, man. That thing is freaking awesome. There's the synths, and then that has its own system that goes up here. This is all just a whole bunch of crap on shelves. But there's the new desk. It looks a mess now, but it's because as you separate things, anything related to tools went here. So I just pile them up here until I have a chance to sort them. And computer stuff over here, which is why it's got like some monitors and keyboards and some old shit. That's actually a monitor stand, but this desk is freaking enormous. It's very far away, so it looks smaller, but that thing is huge. So it should be good. I'll get this cleared off, and I'll use this over here more for like building systems because it's a much larger platform. And I'm probably going to put under here, that lighting looks brighter than it is. It's actually not very bright at all. I'm going to probably put an LED shop light up here, just so I can get a nice bright light on here to do work on it. And I already ordered plugs for this that have it's like a sheet of plastic that's like cut up so you can put lines through it, right? It's like a cable grommet. But I think around the edge, I've learned that you just go and get some edger that covers the whole thing. And then when you're working on something and you drop a screw, it doesn't fall off onto the ground. It stays up there. So I'll probably put a bumper on this, just so, if I'm working. This is okay, but you know what? This is actually kind of small. It's actually not that deep, of a rig. It's surprisingly narrow. So, anyway. That was just some of the things this week. Oh, who do we have? We have someone new. We have Ed Nugent, of course. Edward R. Nugent. Shame. 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 Yeah, that's a cheap drum set I had here, just in case we needed to break out some drums. I think I bought that at Guitar Center for, I'm pretty sure I paid you can't see it, but the bass drum is under there. I'm going to get some cymbals over here. I want to say I paid $149 for the set. And I had maybe one or two cymbals left over from years ago. And I bought some new ones for short ones, just used. What do you got for a crash? You got a $20 crash. You got a $30, just to have a few things. And then there's the pick display. Right there. And the keyboards. And demo. I don't think this was here when I did the synth before. I don't think I had mounted this up yet. That's a 4K monitor. Oh, yeah, I got to go through these. Oh, my God. How many friggin' stacks of friggin' CDs did I find? Jesus. Man, terabytes. Is that a Harbor Freight workbench? It is. But I don't really do any, like, serious wood or, I do tech work inside. If I was going to do anything where I had to cut wood or drill wood, unless something that's in place, right, I can't remove it, pretty much 100 out of 100 times I'm going out to the garage. So it's so much easier to deal with, and I don't want the sawdust down here. God, it's bad enough I have my cats. Oh, I have some news about that, actually. We have someone new here. Ripley. Make sure I have this right here. I don't. I thought I said that, yeah, that feels off. It feels a little off. Here we go. Ripley. 7T. Shame. 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 How much garbage will they collect from the curb? They give you the barrel, and you can have it poking out of the top, but there's only so high you can go before trouble, right? Before I've seen people. They're masterful. They're stackers, man. I don't know how they do it, but it's like a friggin' oversized ice cream cone. They're like, God damn it, you're taking this. And then everything else you have to take up to the dump. It was snowing here all day. All friggin' day. So I bet there was not too many people at the dump this morning. I had one neighbor who put their stuff in front of another neighbor's house, real annoying. We would have to do that sometime if they came too early, would run out there and run the barrel across, because if he hadn't done across the street yet, and run it across the street and stand there as he spun around down at the end of the street, watched him turn around, come back down and take it. Usually he'd wave. I walk across the street and take the barrel back. Never leave it out there, though. The elderly woman next door, before she passed away, she almost had no trash every week. And we would put overflow in hers. My wife used to run over there. We got the new neighbors. She goes, maybe I'll run next door. I go, don't you dare. How dare, brand new neighbors, you're going to put stuff in their garbage? Don't you dare. And she did not. Talk about getting off to a bad start. welcome, Travis. Take you 3 months to get rid of an L-shaped couch. Yeah, it can be tricky. So around here, you'd have to pay to have them pick it up curbside. Let's say it's like $25, or you can just bring it up to the dump on Saturday. And now that I have the trailer, that actually hasn't been, much of a problem because I can just throw it on the trailer, and just whip it up there. Excuse me while I whip this out. Do I have to separate your recycling? We don't. We are single stream. Though you want to talk single stream, I was at the dump, and when you pull into the dump, they have a bunch of cones in the middle because it's one way in and one way out. So as you pull in, there's a huge brush pile. Back your ass up to that if you want to dump stuff in the brush. Keep going down, and you get to the leaf pile, which is enormous, very wide. Spin your car around and back in. But then when you go out, you have to go out on, like, the other side. So I'm down at the leaf pile, and I empty out, a bunch of leaves. And, yeah, as I'm out there, this couple, backs up in their car, and they have, a bag of leaves, and then they have 2 bags of recycling, trash, that they just throw it. There's no other trash in the whole pile. And they just threw that on the pile of leaves. I mean, you want to talk about single streaming. Like, what? As you pull out, of course, there's dumpsters for all kinds of things, bulk items, metal items, plastic items that are big, right, that have to go in a dumpster. But then after that, there's recycling bins for all the recycling stuff that you don't have to separate. You can just take all of your recycling and throw it into one. And then after that, the next 3 or 4 are just cardboard because everyone buys everything online now. And they used to have 1 or 2, and they would be filled in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Now they have 4 dumpsters just for cardboard. And I load my car up there and stand out there for 10 minutes, freaking loading. It all has to be crushed and broken down. You cannot put, boxes in there that have air in them. It all has to be broken down, which is pretty easy. But I was like, damn. So as I was leaving, I stopped and I told the guys, I said, they just slipstreamed some recycling into your leaf pile. They're like, gotcha. Virtually impossible to throw away your trash can, yeah. Yeah, so if you want to throw away a trash can, you probably have to get out there with, a big giant, you could probably, is it a plastic barrel? If they wouldn't take it, and, I was having trouble getting rid of it, and it was a plastic barrel, I would probably take a box cutter and cut around the rim and take the rim off. Use the box cutter to cut the sides down in slices and strips. Then cut it all off from the bottom, and then try and see if I could get the bottom using either some sort of a saw or some snips into smaller pieces. And I'd throw that shit in a trash bag and right in the goddamn trash. I tried, bro. I wanted to recycle this, but you made it too hard. And I don't need this. I don't want this. And now you are taking this. Exactly. Or you could Sawzall it. I would... The Sawzall actually might be a good idea, especially if you use, the metal blade? Something a little finer, right? The Sawzall would work really well. I was also thinking, I have an enormous pair of snips, right? They could just go right through aluminum. They go through a whole bunch of stuff like nothing. I would think it would go through that plastic pretty quickly. Though you're right, the Sawzall might be faster. You might be right on that. Sawzall could be faster. Or even a jigsaw, Yeah, we're talking trash. How's the Texans game going? Last time I left, I think the Texans were up. Oh, now they're really up. Wow. Yeah, the final 32-12. Wow, they really ran away with it, huh? And now you got Pittsburgh in Baltimore going up next. Trailer talk, trailer trash talk. It's all the same. Well, they used to take the. Jeff is saying they'll take a couch and throw it right in the garbage truck here. That's how it used to be here. Oh, you're trying to empty out the garage? Well, just put 15 barrels in front of your house. What? Right? Sometimes people would do like massive cleanouts, and then they started getting pissy about it. You can only put so many barrels out. It was getting ugly because the cost of disposal was going through the friggin' roof, and the town was like losing their shit. So they announced, hey, listen, on this day, you're all getting barrels, and whatever you put away that week, we're going to start opening the dump, like, instead of once a month, like every weekend. And so now you're going to have to, bring anything, like, up there, but for these next, like, 2 weeks, or it switches out on this day to the new system. And you won't be able to put anything curbside. Nothing will get picked up after this day. Those friggin' weeks leading up to that, you never saw more couches in your friggin' life. Everybody was throwing a couch out, furniture out. I mean, they had to be dying those last couple of weeks. They had to send out 2-3 trucks at a time. There was so much stuff. There was such a massive purge in the town. It was insane. We did it too. Oh my God. Get that friggin' couch out there. You have to separate the plastic and stuff. Yeah, we don't have to do that. But people will throw all kinds of crazy stuff into the recycling, and they say a good like 20-30% of it is not recyclable. So they spend a lot of time like pulling like real garbage out, which is annoying. Oh no, our recycle bin's way bigger than the garbage bin because it's mostly food containers. Although they don't want the paper ones, right? They want, paper, but no one prints anything any longer. And they really don't want books. It's too dense. Right? They want separated leaf of paper or newspaper, but no one buys newspapers any longer. So, exactly. That's why you need the trailer. Because without a trailer, it's tough to get something up to the dump. Unless you want to scratch the roof of your car, or you can get up there somehow. Oh, it could get ugly. And then they have special containers just for like mattresses and box springs. It's insane because this state is crazy about mattresses, right? They have to be destroyed in a certain way. People used to throw a mattress right on the side of the friggin' road. For the longest time, you couldn't throw white goods out. Like they wouldn't take a stove, or like they wouldn't take a hot water heater. You had to pay extra for that. But now you only have to pay extra if you want it picked up. And they only pick up on like one day of the week. So usually they're like, okay, if you have it, just put it out there. They'll get it. Don't forget to put it out. Put it out immediately. Then it sits out there for like 6 days. And then finally the truck shows up and picks it up. You're like, oh, geez, I didn't think I was going to have to look at it for a friggin' week. I do recycle a lot of electronics. I'll bring them over to Best Buy or Staples. But a TV to get rid of a TV is so expensive. If I can go through the town, I think it costs me $15. But if I go through like a commercial place like Best Buy, it's $30. $30 to throw something away. Your dump charge is $75 a mattress. Damn. That's crazy. Steve, what's on the agenda for Gear Reviews 2025? Well, got Start Guitar of the Week on Monday. Be sure to check it out. The guitars are here. I texted with Zounds on Monday, and they were right on it. They had stuff. Because I still had that IBI to send back. Sent the IBI back, and got all 4 guitars the next day, and it was freaking cold. Man, they were cold. I left them in the boxes like this whole week. I haven't even opened them yet, but it's going to be good. Got some good names in there. Got some good stuff. Very, very different guitars. I'm all over the place. You could put almost anything on the curb in the 80s, yeah. To a point, they started to wake up because people would have their house demoed and put all the waste out front, and then it was like, no, you got to have a dumpster. You got to pay for a dumpster. And I was like, sure. And then I went and bought contractor bags, sawed everything up into smaller pieces, threw them in the contractor bags, and put those out. Yep. Don't pay no attention to what's in the bag. Have you tried the Strandberg guitars? Strandberg's kind of a weird guitar. It's got that crazy neck, that blocky, off-centered neck, and I don't know. I guess it's a love or hate thing, and I might be in the latter camp. I didn't get on with it, as my British friends would say. We didn't get on. They must be happy with the exposure. Bought a lot of stuff after watching demos, but have to buy them down here in New Zealand, right? Because they don't ship to you. Yeah, you know what? It seems to be generating enough traffic. In fact, I have a meeting with them at NAMM. They're going to be at NAMM. We set up a little meetup. So I'm going to be meeting up with the guys from Zounds. Be happy to do that. And then I got to reach out to my buddies at Ilio, see if they have the new THU 2, which I suspect is going to come out that week. We'll see what's up. What year is this 560? Well, it's got an 87 serial, so that would put it at market in 88. 1988. Did I hear about the new Rockman X100 pedal release on the 23rd? I did. It looks pretty awesome. You know, the original Rockman was an analog unit, so they could certainly fit that in a pedal. You wonder if the patents have finally all expired and now they can just reverse engineer it and do whatever the hell they want, because those Rockman patents are long gone. It looked interesting. I'll have to go I don't know if MXR... I think Dunlop is going to be there. So I'll have to stop by and see if I can check it out, get a photo of it. You know. Plans on any shopping at NAMM? No. I tell you, though, I was a little worried about my hotel room because it was so friggin' cheap. I wound up paying, I think, $114 a night, which is ridiculously low for, you know, the week of NAMM. And I bought that back in October. And you have to pay like up front. And you get it from like Joey Jojo's Hotel Emporium. You know, one of those friggin' third-party front ends. And I gotta tell you, I was pretty nervous. I'm like, you watch. This fly-by-night friggin' hotel booking company is like long friggin' gone. So I called the hotel and said, hey, I'm supposed to be booked there from the 22nd to the 25th. Any chance you got my booking there already? They're like, oh yeah, you're good to go, bro. I was like, sweet. Oh, thank you, sassy cat. It's the most Ibanez-y looking Ibanez ever. Except for the 3 knobs. 4 if you count the guy who put them in. Yeah, it's a good looking guitar, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good. And we can try the old close-up cam. I have to go more like that a little bit. Yeah. Is that because of the fires out that way? No, I was just worried that I bought a friggin' hotel room, and they were gonna like let me know in a week. Oh, by the way, we were unable to procure your hotel room. Here's your money back. Thanks for the float. Actually, my niece heard I've stayed in this hotel room before. It's a pretty well-known brand name hotel with plenty of. I've stayed there before. It's actually a pretty decent hotel. The only thing that's a bummer about it, and it was half the money that it would have stayed at the Peacock Suites, is that the Peacock Suites had that amazing Habit Burger like across the street. So you could always just, if you were hungry, just walk across the street over to the Habit Burger and get yourself a killer burger and something if you, a little late night snackaroo. And, because, you walk, you do like 22,000 steps a day. And you don't really eat because the food at the NAMM show is pretty shit. I really don't eat. When I'm at the NAMM show, I'm like barely eating during the day, and then it's usually a meal at night. So the number one thing you try to do when you're at the NAMM show is find somebody to buy you dinner. That is objective number one. Every day you wake up, you say, "Who's buying me dinner? Who's buying me dinner?" Ever check out Solar Guitars? I did. In fact, I had a whole video on it last year, and I think 2020 as well. Taylor says, we met at Red Robin years ago. Rabia walked in and you introduced me to him. It sounds like me. Oh, and by the way, here's Rabia. Introducing everybody to everyone. Yeah, they say. I remember that Red Robin. That was a good meal that night. Pretty good. And I've had some pretty crap meals out there. Pretty bad. Rabia is certified legit. Any news on the audio video gear to use there? Have you looked at Zoom, AK? Not that I'm going to use there. I do have a little bit of news. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I upgraded one of the lenses, so you can see it on this camera over here. Sort of my medium shot camera, right? So I have the wide shot when I do my Guitar of the Week. I have the tight shot. And I have the medium shot. That medium shot was a fine lens, but it was electronic. And my God, we have just been losing power. And it's always the same. There's a big kaboom. You hear a big boom, and the power goes out. Like down the street, you can hear this like enormous kaboom. It sounds like a transformer's blowing out. And give it about maybe 30 to 40 minutes, and everything comes back on again. It's usually less than an hour. But this has been going on. We have been like losing freaking power. Like we didn't lose power for years, but I think they're doing some construction. Something's going on, and we've just been losing power. It's like, what the hell? And it's for a very short period of time. It's not like it seems like it's something that might be maybe just an overload problem, and they've got to figure out how to reroute some lines or something. But anyway. Whenever the power goes out, it resets the focus, and it's a pain in the ass to refocus again. It really is. So the other two are manual lenses, very sharp prime manual lenses, and I just bought the manual lens for that one, the prime manual lens. Same focal length, it'll look the same, but it's not going to be annoying, because I found a few videos I shot, that lens was out of focus. Because I thought I had it focused right, but I must have been too close or too far away. But now with the new manual focus, it's perfect. And they're super fast. They're prime lenses, and they're super freaking fast. We're talking like between, I think the slowest lens is a 1.7, one's like a 1.5, and the other's like either a 1 even or a 0.97. So that's freaking fast. That's real fast. Should be good. Should be good. Should look a little sharper. What year is the Ibanez? It's an 87 serial number, so that puts it in 88 at retail. Maybe NAMM need to locate their conventions where there's better restaurants. You know, there's actually a Mexican restaurant that's not too far of a walk that I've walked to 2 or 3 times, usually with Glenn Fricker because he's hungry for lunch and he can't spend the money in there and buy that crap. Some of the food trucks are really good, but the lines get ridiculously long. That's when you can walk down and just walk right into that Mexi restaurant and get seated and get some pretty decent food. So, you know, it just depends on what you're in the mood. But usually I skip it. I pound about 40 waters, ice cold waters during the day, to the tune of about, 40 times 5, it's about $200 in water. No, they're real fast, Tony. They're prime. They're cheap Chinese prime lenses, but damn, they're sharp. And, you know, I just use the same, what is that, the 17% gray or whatever that is, right? 18% gray card to set the white balance between them, and they're fine. They don't need to be graded. They're good enough. I don't think I have a bar nearby for this. You know, it takes a very special bar. Did I acquire any gear over the holidays? I did not. Did I? I don't think so, but I do have the new 4 guitars for the next round of Guitar of the Week. I got a month's worth. Got some good brands in there too. Got some good stuff. You know, I try to mix it up. You know, I try to mix it up and try to get different brands. You know what? Green Meaning, I thought I had food poisoning at the NAMM show. I don't think it was food poisoning. Because I've had food poisoning and I've had a stomach virus since. I believe it was a stomach virus. They're not the same. They don't affect you in the same way. And looking at the symptoms I've had from, I think I had, whatever that is that the norovirus, whatever that gastrointestinal where you're just, you know, vomiting and pissing out your ass. That's what I had. I did not, it's different. I tell you what the difference is. With food poisoning, you can actually feel okay for a little while. And then a wave of nausea will come on and you wind up, you know, getting sick and vomiting or, you know, diarrhea or whatever. But it comes in waves. When you have the stomach virus, it's like you're being stabbed in the stomach. It's like a wrench. It's like, it just hurts. There's no comfortable position. Everything sucks. Right? So I'm thinking it's more of the, I'm thinking, because that's what it was like when I was out at NAMM. It was that stomach clenching, can't find a decent position to sit, can't lay down. You know, it sucks to lay down. You're more nauseous. You're trying to sit up, but your stomach just hurts. And it's just, I don't know. It's different. It's not the same. Yeah, is it the rotavirus? I don't know. No, it's the, I thought it was norovirus. Yeah. Yeah, norovirus is terrible. Emptying out in every way for about a day or 2. Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember looking in the mirror going, oh my God, have you lost weight? I was stuck in the hotel room all day. That night, Agufish reached out and he says, hey, we're all going out to this, barbecue place. what do you think? I'm like, barbecue. Oh my God. Okay, this would be the first meal I've eaten in like 36 hours, but okay. Let me see here. And we wind up going there, and Glenn Fricker was there. And he sees me, he goes, dude, oh my God, you've lost weight. I'm like, oh, have I? Yeah. Well, that'll happen. Oh, no. I lost weight all right. Right down the friggin' toilet. And then you get so thirsty. I wound up calling down to the front desk and saying, like, do you have a little store that I can come down and like buy some water, or you can bring some water to me and charge it to my room? They're like, oh, we'll give you water. We're gonna send up a big bag of water right now, and they did. They sent up this little tote bag of 4 water bottles, which I cracked one and started sipping, and the other, because I was so dehydrated, the other 3 I threw in the little mini fridge to chill up. And my God, and they gave me some crackers too, which I couldn't eat. Couldn't even smell them. I was like, oh no. Like cheese crackers. I was like, no, can't do it. Can't do it, bro. Got a stomach bug before playing a big festival in Poland. Didn't eat for like 3 days. Yeah, no, I was gone for a while. And then, of course, all the pictures of me, because I got sick Friday night and I was gone all day Saturday, and I limped back to the show on Sunday. And oh my God, that was so. I mean, I was so much thinner. That's what having the norovirus will do. Coconut water makes a huge difference battling dehydration, electrolyte issues. I almost thought of buying, because I think they sell Gatorade, but I was like, it's going to be too sweet and it's going to make me nauseous. And so I just stuck with the water. And the next morning when I went in there, when I finally got back in there, I had barely eaten. I was finally getting my appetite back. I was getting hungry. I remember I went to this like thing where it was like Asian, and it was like vegetables and some stuff and a bunch of rice. And I pretty much scraped almost everything off the top and went and just ate the white rice. Just like something bland, kind of absorbent. And I was like, yeah, I'm keeping it simple. Everything else is making me nauseous. Oh, yeah, intestinal parasite. Oh, my God, 10 pounds, yeah. Why do so many people get sick at NAMM? Because you're just all in one giant room together, and there's a lot of handshaking. And, there's a lot of escalator riding. You're going up and down escalators, so your hand touches the rail a lot. People will put their hand on the rail. And, it's just one of those things when you have, I think they say it's something like 250,000 people. It's a lot of freaking people. And the chances of someone being sick and getting you sick is actually pretty high. So last year I didn't get any illness at all. I think it was my second year that I got really sick. I mean, I had the flu when I got back so bad. That was real bad. That went on for weeks. I was like, oh, when is this going away? And the coughing. Oh my God, could not stop coughing. But last year I had nothing, and I owe it to consciously trying not to touch my face, so that's harder than you think, and washing my hands a lot. A lot. That seems to do it. Yeah, when Wampler would hand out the little bottles of Purell. Oh, Henning was sick last year. He barely made it to the show for one day and went running back to the hotel room. He was sick as a dog. Exactly. Lots of guitar touching, lots of gear touching, you know. You're just sharing a space with a lot of people. And a lot of times it gets so crowded, you're like shoulder to shoulder with people trying to get through sections. Excuse me, sorry, I'm just trying to get by. As people are standing around watching a performance, oh my God, it's what they call a shit ton. It's a shit ton of people. You can quote me on that. Yeah, that's pretty much what they call it, Namthrax. It's the non-washing of hands, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think washing your hands just goes a long way, and avoiding contact as much as possible, but that's almost impossible. You're shaking hands with people all day. Maybe even giving them big fat bro hugs. Could happen. In fact, I'm pretty sure I had an ice cold water, and Henning was telling me he was hot, and I touched my ice cold water to the back of his head. He's like, "Oh, get out of here, you bastard!" He was pretty pissed. It's like, I'm just trying to help you out, bro. 550 or 570, they're both. It just depends on whether you like the pick guard or no pick guard. I don't know. I think they do a pretty good paint job, so I'm leaning more towards the 570, but the 550 is just so classic. It's, why not both? Just do the fist bump. That's what a lot of people were doing last year. Keep a bottle of sanitizer with you. Yeah. That could work. I tend not to use the hand sanitizer, though, because I think it dries your hands out. It's got so much alcohol in it. I just like soap and water. So, like, if I go back to the hotel, forget about when I'm at NAMM. Like, I'll go in and I'll wash my hands, like, at least 2 or 3 times. But even those bathrooms are kind of gross. Like, just even touching the soap dispensary feels like you've already lost. But when I get back to the hotel, I will wash my hands like twice. like right in a row, before I even start touching anything. I like elbow my door open. One thing I really liked was my hotel last year had an ice machine, and the ice machine had crazy ultraviolet light. You know, like insanely strong ultraviolet light. I felt like the ice was very clean. That the ultraviolet light was, getting rid of. It was clearly used as a way to cut down on the growth of bacteria. I don't think I've played a Kramer bass. We were looking at one last week. Remember we had that Kramer. That was a neck-through Kramer with an ebony fretboard. That thing was nice. I think it was $600, $599. But, yeah, not really Kramer. I got an Ibanez, and I have the Vola bass right now. I love that Vola bass. It's so friggin' good. Lysol the TV remote in the hotel room. I used to work with a guy who used to Lysol the phones all the time. He's like, it's cold and flu season. Ice machines are generally pretty nasty. So I was happy to see that the ice machine looked brand new. And the, insanely bright ultraviolet light coming from the inside. I was like, that's a nice change. You wonder if they're going to start mandating that. This is a 560, yeah. Yeah, ice machines can be a crazy source of. I remember going to a 7-Eleven, and the ice had like green slime on it. I showed it to the dude behind the counter. I said, you might want to turn off that friggin' ice machine. It was so gross, like friggin' green turds on the ice. I said, dude, that's like salmonella. So I don't know what's up with Gibson if they're going to have a booth. It feels like I hope they are, but there's been a lot of talk like, oh no, they're going to be meeting rooms because they're not meeting with me. And Aljon isn't going. He would normally be my sort of my way into the meeting room. Let's check and just make sure. Or is it just Fender that's doing the meeting room? Somebody's, a little annoying. It's like, are you going to be, I guess it's just cheaper to have a meeting room than to put up a display. Yeah. So if you look at the Fender Corporation meeting rooms, so is it the meeting rooms and Bigsby, Charvel, EVH, Fender Squier, Gretsch? I gotta think it is. Jackson and Squier, right? Or is it the meeting rooms for all those brands? I'll find out when I get there. Like, why would you have such a big room for just meeting rooms? It doesn't seem right. And a lot of pianos. And then you got Yamaha Ampeg. Or Yamaha. And what's on level 2? Is that Gibson and Peavey? Nope, KHS. Exhibitor private meeting. Oh, by appointments only. ESP guitars. Damn. Damn. Okay, in music, sure. Is Gibson off the... Holy shit. Yeah, this Peavy. This Taylor. Hold on. Yeah, where the... Huh? Where the hell is Gibson? We're going to be down here? No, there's Hoshino, Marshall, Duncan, Sir. There's no way Gibson would be down here. No Gibson. I searched for Gibson, I got Graphtech. Interesting. Kramer did not match any results. Okay. Well, no wonder Aljon's not going to be there. Looks like Gibson's not going. Interesting. All right, there's Donner. Where is... Okay, Eno. Legator, sure. That's where they normally are, down in this. All right, there's Vola. Warwick, Electroharmonics, Walrus. Orange is back in the big display. Be good to stop by and see Charlie, say hello. There's Rev. Reverend. Floyd Rose, EMG. Roto Sound, OMG. Ernie Ball on the floor. That's where they were last year. And Hoshino was next to them. But where, IK Multimedia, all right, okay. But where is, all right, CF Martin, Fishman, Ortega, Fujigen, interesting. Let me check the, Gibson's too big for, no, there's no Epiphone, no Gibson, no Epiphone. None of that. That's shocking. I thought they were going back this year. Where is... Marshall, and then the boutique guitar showcase. This is kind of walled off, and you walk through, and like Sully will be in here, right? See, Sully guitars, right there. So that's a lot of brands, but I don't see. We were talking about MXR. That would be Dunlop is the parent company, right? Oh, not that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 5143. So it's around, it's near Hoshino, which is normally where they are. Here's the 51, though. Yeah, here they are. They're around here somewhere. Shock. What did I say it was? 5143. Oh, yeah, there they are. There they are. Dunlop. So Dunlop will be there. Right next to Quilter. Abassi will be there. Walrus. There's going to be some people there. To be honest, this is a lot of glad handing and Adleho. I think this is drums. Yeah, drums. Cymbals. Giant sonar. Usually Ludwig. Here's Gretsch. Usually Ludwig has a big display out. I don't see them. Are they there? Yeah. Yeah. They're there. They're there. Yeah. Oh, Ludwig is under the Conselmer brands. Oh my God. See, this is what you find out. Right? You're like, oh, right. There's Adams. And so if we're over here, Casio, I got to think. Yeah, Ilio is usually around here. There's Ilio right there. What the Dillio, Ilio? And then I have a friend who you walk over through the catwalk. Over here, I have a friend over here. And I think it's, oh, maybe it's another floor. It's this floor. There's the catwalk on the second floor. And it's over here, Adam Hall. Which has their booth gets them, that's why they have the door open there. Their booth gives them a area on the balcony, and it is friggin' awesome. I spent like 2 or 3 hours. They were probably pissed because I wasn't leaving. I'm like, no, it's nice. I'm tired. I'm drinking a water. I'm sitting on your balcony. It was amazing. Allen and Heath, Mackey. Oh, sure. All right. Well, that's shocking that Gibson won't be there. Really, next week is the NAMM preview. We're getting a preview of the preview. That's a NAMM preview. Yeah, was DiMarzio there? I didn't. Let's take a look. Sometimes you have to look it up because if you don't, nope, not there. EMG was there. I saw them. How about Seymour Duncan? Seymour Duncan does have a booth, a couple of booths. Oh yeah, no, they have a huge booth. Yeah, no, Duncan's there, right there. Bigger booth than Schecter, which is insane. And how Hoshino is there. Now you wonder if this is just like acoustics or something. Or if these were just meeting rooms, right? Because they're next to this other Hoshino, right? So you have the big showcase here, then you have like a meeting room in here. How many can I put you down for? 10,000? 8,000? Oh yeah. Sire guitars. And then, of course, there's Hall E, which is, last year Hall E was closed. But it looks like, normally Hall E is acoustics and import. So it's usually half, like, and that looks like they're going back there, because that's Furch and Ryan, Loudon, those are all acoustic brands. So it looks like they're going back to that. And then the other half is to be like import. You know? Like international music, right? And, you know, a lot of this stuff is just... Oh, Arturi is there. Interesting. To be downstairs, I would think to be over in the synth room. Yeah, kind of. Usually this is import stuff downstairs. But now it's quite a mix. Quite a mix down in Hall E. I bet it's... Oh, Scott Dixon makes cases. I met Scott. Or the guy representing Scott. May not have been him. May not have been the Scott Dixon. If that is his real name. Rockin' Tune. Multiversal. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, amps would be up on... Amps historically are in Hall D. Normally. But, you know, they've been moving everything around lately. So if you look down in the Hall D, yeah, see there's Marshall. And, you know, I guess IK Multimedia could be considered an amp company. And then Positive Grid. Because IK Multimedia is really scoring with that Tonex stuff. Maybe more of an effects company. Then you got Rev. You know, but I didn't see Orange. You know, that's a pretty big brand. Orange and Marshall look like the two biggest. There. Was that Bad Cat? No, Bellcat. Not the same. Two different companies. Anything back here? Driftwood, Demo Room, Hot Tone. Neural DSP. Yeah, not a ton of... You know, it's a lot to schlep that stuff in there. I got to think the people that own Korg are going to be around here, and it's going to be like Korg. So who has... That'd be under the Korg brand, right? Korg. Oh, yeah. Korg USA. Yeah. So that's going to be Vox. Dark Glass. Black Star. Right? So that's quite a... That's a few amp brands. So, you know, they're out there. All right, dudes. PV was on the second floor. Yeah, I don't think Mesa Amps is going to be there because I think it'd be under the Gibson umbrella if they were going to be there. And it doesn't look like Gibson's going to be there. Under any of their brands, Epiphone, Kramer, Steinberger, you know, you insert brand here. Looks like they're skipping it this year. All right, dudes. Well, don't forget we have another show before the NAMM show. We'll do it all again next week. Then I really will be going away, but not this week. But Monday, the all-new season premiere of Guitar of the Week. That's must-see TV. And we will do it all again in a week. And there you go. No, you rock. All right, guys. Thanks to everyone for hanging out tonight. Super extra special thanks to anyone who contributed. I always appreciate that. Welcome to my new members and the 30 Days of Shame you've placed upon you and your family. And we will do it all again in a week. All right, dudes. No, you rock. All right, man. We're out. I'm out. Later.